Alright, so this is a follow-on to GunGate. You know, this thing just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Alright, so by now, we've all heard about Katie Couric's editing tricks, you know, with the Virginia Citizens Defense League. Now it turns out that there was actual laws broken. Well, allegedly. Allegedly, Stephanie Soechtig, I believe the producer of this documentary, went into Colorado, or well, into Arizona. I believe she's a Colorado resident, and purchased 4 guns, one of them being a Bushmaster, and then the other 3 being pistols in Arizona. Now, under U.S. federal law, you can't purchase a handgun outside your state of residence. You're not legally supposed to sell somebody a handgun if they're not in the same state of your residence. So, therefore, if that's the case, Ms Soechtig violated federal law. I mean, now, this isn't very uncommon of gun controllers. In fact, it seems like it's their MO nowadays to break federal gun laws and or state gun laws and get away with it, or even if they do get caught, such as was the case of the NY Safe Act supporter in New York who got caught with a gun in school, to only get a on the wrist. It is very common, if you're a gun control supporter now blatantly breaking federal gun laws, such as, again, David Gregory. Right, and when I said federal gun law, I meant current gun law, obviously. Not all gun laws are federal. But in the instance with David Gregory, with a magazine like this, he was breaking a local gun law while supporting that gun law being pushed on the entire nation. So no, I don't think Gregory should have gotten a pass on that one. He did. I think he should be doing the maximum time in jail. I'm sorry, you support a rule, you should be willing to take the maximum sentence if you get caught breaking that rule, since you think it's such a good idea to have that rule be a law. Same goes true for the NY Safe Act supporter who got busted carrying a gun into a school. I think he should have had the full 3 years in prison. And I don't think the judge should have let the whole, oh, I forgot I had the damn gun on me, fly as an excuse. Because obviously, if this was such a great rule to have in place, the NY Safe Act supporter should have been able to follow that rule to a T. But he didn't. Then, everyone, I guess, can understand where I'm coming from on the issue with Soechtig. But what's really shocking is these gun control supporters don't seem to care that she really broke federal gun laws. I mean, look at this. No, you're right, Dan. We should just forget about this gun control activists' blatant and public violations of at least one federal gun law 3 times, but yet, quote, gun nuts like me are the problem, and that, I shouldn't be legally allowed to have my guns. But no, we should just forget Ms Soechtig's blatant violation of a federal gun law 3 times. You're right, RTB3. These rules aren't really in place for anything, right? So it's no big deal that Soechtig violated a federal gun law 3 times. No, that's no big deal at all. The real problem is we haven't put all the people who are following the law in jail because they don't agree with you, right? Bob, you're absolutely right, and I agree with you. However, we both know, I think the current person sitting in the Oval Office is less of a president and more of an activist. He isn't going to do anything over this. Neither is the Justice Department. That's the fact of the matter. They don't care about enforcing other existing gun laws. This is going to be another case, such as David Gregory, where they're just going to let this walk. They're going to let this walk because they want to deceive Americans into believing that we really don't have these gun laws. Meantime, if somebody like me or you were to actually break a gun law, the Gunsense people would be all over it saying, well, why haven't we put these gun nut terrorists in jail? Why haven't we stopped these gun nut people from intimidating people? Shoot, let's go back and see the tweet I played earlier one more time, just to show you their mentality. All right, so yeah, again, this tweet, the reason why we want to put this up there, again, this shows the Gunsense mentality perfectly. It illustrates it perfectly. They don't care about the person that broke federal law 3 times because that person's on their side. They don't want this person prosecuted. At best they don't care, but at worst they don't want this person prosecuted because that's not their agenda. Their agenda is not enforcing current gun laws. Their agenda isn't about making people safer. Their agenda isn't about freedom. Their agenda is about exercising political power over people. And until we as a nation can stand up and tell these people, fuck you, we're not going to let you little lying, deceptive, manipulative little fucksticks rule over us. That's pretty much what we have to do. And by the way, this whole, quote, corporate gun lobby thing that this person's talking about, it's really not a, quote, corporate gun lobby so much as it is a lot of Americans, such as myself and Bob Owens, as well as many other Americans, standing up and saying, no, we don't support this law. We're not giving up our freedoms over this. We're going to continue to oppose you guys. Now, the person who made that tweet, again, I don't know what level of influence he has in the gun control lobby or the Gunsense movement, but there, again, as I showed in this tweet earlier, that is Dan Gross. That is the head of the Brady campaign. This is not a small fish. And in his eyes, an actual violation of federal law is a made-up problem. However, the real problem is that we just haven't bowed to his agenda yet, and that we haven't accepted their demands be put into law. Yep. Again, their mentality right there too, their fallacious mentality, because the evil corporate gun lobby is supposedly pushing this, that we should just ignore the federal gun laws that Ms Soechtig broke and instead go after them for some made-up crime. And by the way, I understand that there are rules to disclosure on political funds. However, I'm more than certain that groups like Cap and Gun Crime, or whatever the hell they call themselves, I'm almost certain that they just made that up. Because Gunsense people have a tendency to make stuff up quite regularly. And I haven't seen any evidence that the NRA itself failed to disclose any political funding. So, until these guys have some proof, they need to show, they need to shut the fuck up. But Gunsense people aren't going to do that. They're going to keep opening their mouth. There's her opinion on Katie Couric's edit. She's perfectly okay with lying about the issue. I'd ask her how she feels about her violations of the federal law. But again, I don't think she has much of an issue with that. What's the point? But there you have it, guys. That is the mentality of these Gunsense people.